Hi, it's Anthony from Over 40 Health and Fitness. Sometimes we go through certain experiences or we go through events or even a moment in our life that at the time seems like the worst thing in the world. Maybe it's the power of the universe or the power of God sending us a message. But at the time, it seems like a pretty tough message, and it's not till later that we figure out maybe that was a blessing in disguise. My first day at high school, for me, is a day that I'll never forget. And no, this is not one of those bully stories. I wasn't bullied at school, so I didn't have to go through that. And what happened on my first day of high school, it didn't happen at school. It was quite uneventful, actually. It was a pretty good day, I guess. But when I got home from school, I watched a bit of TV, and then when my dad got home from work a few hours later, he came into the lounge room where I was watching telly, and he said, how was your first day of school? He asked me how was school, and I said, yeah, it was okay. A lot of the kids from my primary school went to high school, and same bunch of kids, a few other kids from some other schools, which was good. He said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm watching TV. And he said, take a seat, I want to talk to you. And okay. And he said to me, I don't want you watching TV until you finish school. And I said, I finished school 3 hours ago. I'm watching TV now, but I've already finished school. He said, no, I don't want you watching any more TV until you finish school. And my dad was a pretty serious sort of guy. He was a bit of a disciplinarian, you might say. Still is. And I said, what, you mean high school, Dad? I can't watch any more TV till I finish high school. And he said, yeah, that's right. I said, that's 6 years away. What do you mean, no TV for 6 years? That's right. He often didn't explain himself. He just told me these things, and that was it. And I knew my dad well enough to know there was no point arguing with him, so I didn't. Just went into my bedroom, I thought about it, and I'm quite a bullish kind of person. I can be a little bit on the aggressive side at times. So I went out to the kitchen, I saw my mum, she was getting dinner ready, and I told her what happened, and she said, yeah, I know. Your dad wanted to tell you. I knew, but I couldn't tell you. He wanted to deliver it. He wanted you to know that it was coming from him. I stand by it, but I want you to know something, and this is the part that I do remember. My mum said to me, he said, your dad's doing it in your best interests. It's what's best for you. I said, my brother, can he still watch TV? Well, he's younger than you, and yes, he can watch TV, but your brother's your brother and you are you. He's just doing the best thing for you, so just concentrate on you. And he's doing the best thing for you, and you may not be able to see it. I mean, I was 12 years old at the time. You may not be able to see it now, but in the future, you'll realise it was the best thing for you. Now, my dad, he was pretty strict, but he was always encouraging me to play sports. And although my grades were okay at school, I wasn't coming first in my class or anything like that. But I was good at sports, and he knew that, and he encouraged me to play a lot of sports. And because I couldn't watch TV, I played a lot of sports. I played a lot of tennis. I played, indoor cricket. I was swimming. We had a pool. I was in the school water polo team. I played squash. I played golf. I played a lot of sports, and my dad always encouraged me to play sports. And I had a good childhood. There was some discipline there, but it generally, I think there's a lot of kids out there that had a worse childhood than me. I had a pretty good childhood. Certainly no regrets there. But I hated my dad for stopping me from watching TV. I hated him for it, and I kind of acted in a way as such that I did hate him for it. And I'm sure that hurt him at the time, but he's not the warm and fuzzy type. He is who he is. So I didn't really understand, but I did hate him for that. But as it turned out, when I got older, I left school. I never started watching TV, even though I could. I never watched TV. Now we have one TV in our house. I don't want my kids watching a lot of TV. I do I do let them watch a little bit of TV. In all honesty, I am quite strict. I'm probably not as strict on my kids as my dad was on me. I'm just a little bit soft in that way, I guess. But I know from my dad how important discipline is. And you know, it was a really tough lesson. It was a very tough lesson to learn at a young age. But there was something else that happened as well along the way. One day my dad came to me on a Saturday evening after dinner, and he said to me, "Do you want to watch Magnum PI?" Magnum PI used to be on a Saturday night. I remembered that because it was the only hour in a whole week he'd actually let me watch TV. And I said, "Well, you know, I'm not allowed to watch TV, Dad." And he said, "Well, I'm going to let you watch TV tonight because you played tennis today, you won convincingly, you played well, you tried hard, you did a good job, and if you win of a Saturday, I'm going to let you watch TV. I played winter comp in the winter and summer comp in the summer. If you win, I'm going to let you watch TV." So, you know, the next couple of weeks I won, and then I lost. And then, you know, he wouldn't let me watch TV. Fair enough, that was how it was. And then a few weeks later I lost, and he came in Saturday into my bedroom and he said, "Do you want to watch TV?" I said, "I lost today, Dad. I know you lost today. But you lost because those kids were better than you. They were, you know, they're the top team in the comp. You lost, but you tried your hardest. You won last week, but you didn't try as hard last week as you did this week. I can see how much you tried, and I'm going to let you watch Magnum tonight if you want to watch Magnum. So, you know, if you want to watch it, come on." So I watched Magnum. So I thought that was pretty cool. But a couple of weeks later I lost, and he didn't let me watch TV. I didn't try my hardest, and he could see that I didn't, and I didn't get it. But the message here is, whether you've tried and failed, or you've had some tough moments, and for me as a kid, that was a tough moment. Every other kid was watching TV. I wasn't allowed to watch TV. I didn't tell kids at the time at school that I wasn't allowed to watch TV because that would have been uncool. So you know, I didn't say anything. But it was a tough lesson at the time, and if you've been through some tough lessons and you've had some tough things, like you've been overweight for a very long time, you've failed to you know, get back in shape or get healthy, or you've tried exercising and it didn't work, just keep going. Just keep going. That's my lesson to you today. Is just keep going. No matter how tough things get, overcoming something and then looking back on it. Like for me, I look back and I thought I wasn't allowed to watch TV, and it seemed like the worst thing in the world. But now as an adult, I don't watch TV. I restrict the TV my kids watch. My wife doesn't watch TV. You know, it was a great lesson for me. It was a blessing in disguise. And if you're overweight and you can get past that and get back on track, and you can look back in a year or 2 years' time and think, "Wow, I was overweight for all that time and I got over it," and you'll become a better version of yourself. You'll become the best version of yourself, and it will have been a blessing in disguise that you're overweight. So, you know, that's what Over 40 Health and Fitness is about. It's overcoming things. You know, I've had many things go wrong in my life. I didn't go to university. You know, I learned through the school of life. My brother went to university, and he was a lot smarter than me in school. You know, he did very well. You know, whereas I did well in sports, he did well at university. Academically, he was he was very talented. But that was his thing, and my thing was something else. And your thing may be something else. I'm not that good with computers, and my young son, one of my young sons, he's very good with computers, and he shows me things because he's good in that way. So maybe you're good with certain things that I'm not good with, and you know, we're all good with certain things that, you know, that we excel in, and helping people lose weight is one of the things that I'm good at, and that's part of what Over 40 Health and Fitness is all about. But I'll tell you one more thing. What I hated my dad for back then, all those years ago as a kid, I love him for now. He made me a disciplined person. He helped me. Maybe deep down I was disciplined anyway, but he helped me become the best version of myself. And then I left school, and you know, of course my life was quite disciplined. I rebelled for many years, and I went through many different jobs, and I moved around a bit, and I travelled, and you know, for a lot of time I didn't have any money until I finally got money through discipline, through the lessons that I'd learned, which were a blessing in disguise. So that's the takeaway, and I hope you got something out of it. All the best.